Hey YouTube world, welcome back to Neville Girl Forever. First video went so well, pardon my lashes, I'm a lash girl, that I wanted to create a series. Part 1, 2, 3, I don't know where it's going to go, but I wanted y'all to get to know me better, and I want to get to know you all better. And so I wanted to dive more into this bio or community page information I wanted to post originally, because there was a lot behind it. I mean, this is on my heart. It's just, I'm still learning. I'm sure there's more progression I can do. Neville's not difficult. I love Neville Goddard so much. But I just wanted to share more about the journey. And I just wanted to share more about why it's on my heart and why it's so important. And oh my gosh, had I known this in my early 20s, what it could have done for my life. It doesn't matter, in essence. Everything's happening now. And we're going to get into quantum physics and, just different realities and when we change our frequency. But the different realities we can experience. But still, so I just wanted to get more into this because this is why I created the channel. This is why you matter so much to me. You do. I'm not a teacher. I'm a sharer and I'm an inspirer. I hope to teach along the way. I hope that people gather nuggets. And really, like I said in the previous video, I'm just wanting to create a channel where there's a supportive community. And like I said, I believe I have hacked at least part of the matrix. That's what I choose to call it. I've heard it worded that way, and I love that because it helps explain, we can control so much. And we'll get more into it with Neville Goddard because, when he was speaking and writing, he was at a time where they didn't have words for quantum physics or all these other things. So we're going to get into that. That was a layer for me at first because I think I'd heard of him before I came upon my journey, but I was like, oh man, the guy just speaks a language and I'm really good with understanding a lot of things. I'm pretty well read, but it just was a little different to take in. So I came across, like I said, something that changed my life. This one simple technique, this one simple prayer. And like I said, we're going to get into Neville. We're going to break it down. My favorite. Here's this book I just took on my most recent trip. Love it. And my favorite part is my faith. Your faith is your fortune. If I could ever just only talk about that, that would be plenty. Like, that's enough. So that's one part. But I was, I'm not going to get much into my whole story now, and I probably never will because I feel like there's something about, especially when you understand Neville and law of attraction, not to dwell on your old story. But I know it's there. I don't think about it much. But I know that when it's going through so much, I mean, I've always had law of attraction. So it's like something would happen. I'm like, well, I've got law of attraction. My life is, enhanced by that. Things could always be better, but things could be worse. So thing is that, like I said, I mentioned in the previous video, it's like, you're wanting or needing a new car. I'm using an example. This isn't me, but just an example. But you're manifesting the sweater of your dreams. Well, that's nice. That's cute. But what about those things that seem seemingly larger, and you don't want to make your dream or your vision larger than you? And we'll get into that as well. So there's so much to unpack. That's why I was like, I gotta jump right back on here and talk to my YouTube fam. It's just new, but I know you're out there. I know you're gonna relate. So anyway, I was always wondering, like, what am I doing wrong? I became a law of attraction coach, and I'll share some time like who I got certified with. Really amazing information. It resonated with me. It resonated, obviously, frequency wise with where I was at the time, but it wasn't helping me manifest. And let's face it, people, Really, let's face it. It's all about, I don't know, it's just one of those things where like you want to see the results, right? You do. We have these things that are on our heart that mean so much, and then we start to like doubt ourselves. So this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here. Previously it was scripted because I wanted to read something out. I think I'm going to do different versions. A lot of times I'm going to go unscripted. But anyway, so the thing is that I feel like I cracked the code with this. And this is truly what happened with me. My life is spiraling down. I thought I could handle this because I've got tools in my toolbox with law of attraction. Then another large blow. And again, someday I'll talk about it a little bit. And I was like, well, of course I can handle that because I got these tools in my toolbox. Like faith that in myself, law of attraction, God, universe. And eventually there was multiple layers and I was like, holy moly. And even all my best girlfriends were like, wow. They were there, they were supportive. But I'm be honest, totally honest. I'm going to be vulnerable with you guys because I feel like that's what it takes. And it's so important. I spiraled down and I didn't know why I was spiraling down. I've got these tools, right? So I was literally at the lowest point, like probably starting around Christmas. Single, some other things. Like I said, other time I will get into it, but I just kind of was like, what am I doing wrong? And so I really was praying. I was like, something's just in it. You're in tune with your intuition. So one day, and I wish I would have marked it on my calendar, but it was like any old other day, right? And one day I just came across, I think it was Instagram. And it's just one of those shorts, and they said, hey, here's this amazing little prayer. I know it works. It'll make you feel better. Just try it. See what happens. And the prayer was, thank you for showing me that all of my issues, or this issue, but thank you for showing me that this issue is already solved. And I said, well, when I go to bed tonight, I got plenty on my plate. I think I'm just going to say that. It's free. Makes me feel good. It sounds good. It just makes me at least feel a little comforted. And so when I went to bed that night, laying my head down on my pillow, I said that little prayer. And it was wild. It was crazy. I felt comfort. Now I have theories, and they are law of attraction, quantum physics theories about why that affected me so much. But I went to sleep that night with peace. And I think I remember from the video, it said, I believe that Neville Goddard is the originator of the prayer. If he isn't, please correct me. But it's associated some way, somehow, and that's how I got into Neville. So that's a whole other part. That'll be part 3 or 4, I don't know. So I said that prayer, and I felt peace that night, and I wasn't like going to sleep thinking about bills and issues and work and all these things. I just felt peaceful that night. And like I said, it was different for me. All of a sudden, it just felt like almost like my future self was coming back to my current place, just saying, it's like literally, it's going to be okay. And also, too, when you start to work with Neville, you start to realize that not only everything is happening now, and we have all these different possibilities based on our frequency, but also, too, but when your issue is already solved, it's the past. And when your energy gets into the place that it's your past and that problem is not current, that God, universe is already working on it, there's a peace that comes over you. And I felt that for the first time. I did. Yeah. So that's part of how Neville Girl forever got launched because I just said that simple prayer. I said it every night, maybe a couple times, right? And also too, I had been thinking of things that I wanted to create. Some things weren't even that important, but you know, I'd been single for a long time. I had some preferences about where I would prefer to live, maybe not necessarily where I was, and just dreams, you know, those things that are so important to us. So, in any case, it was amazing overnight. And then plus also starting to delve into who is this Neville guy? Like, what's this guy all about? And when you start to like read or listen to some of his stuff, his language was a little bit different. He was back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and his language was a little bit different because of the time and also at the time. He was a little unique. And also, too, he was trying to describe things at times, not always. Sometimes his stuff is so basic, so simple. But he was also trying to describe things that they didn't have terminology. They didn't have, like, you know, quantum physics and all these different words, quantum mechanics to describe. So, in a way, when you finally get into it, you start to understand. But I did that. And maybe checked out a couple other things, learned a couple other little things. It wasn't much, really wasn't. But it was at night, it was evening. I started to understand there's something about going to sleep. There's a word sats. We're going to go over that too. What is this whole thing about going to sleep at night and using that kind of relaxation time? But it changed my life. Yeah, it did. And again, that's why I created this channel. Because I went from what some people would consider rock bottom. It wasn't good. It wasn't horrible. Some people are doing better. Some people are doing worse. But from all my history of where I've been, it was not the best place. And I just was frustrated. I thought, how's everybody else just, you know, law of attraction works for them. Sometimes it works for me. But so the point is that it doesn't take much effort, but it takes effort. This was the simplest technique, and we're going to go over some more techniques and teachings that actually require a little bit more. But I discovered that there's a freedom in not thinking about the bills, not whatever. Don't think about anything when you go to sleep at night, except for knowing that it's already solved. This prayer, the simple prayer, it's not religious, it's just an acknowledgement that the universe, God, knows what you already want and need. And you can name it, and we'll go over that too, again, in a video. But it's already solved. There is a version of you in the multiverse that's already solved. So, oops. In any case, so this is part of part 2. I wanted to share more. And then all of a sudden, overnight, my life changed. I met an amazing guy. I am moving back to a location that I lived before that I love so much. It's more meaningful. Again, I'm going to be careful about details, but I'm going to share some along the way. Things that I've been checking out along the way, like, oh, hey, there's this really cool class. I'd like to check it out sometime. It was kind of like that kind of energy. I'd like to check it out sometime. Well, wouldn't you know, this guy was going, and he's like, hey, let's go. Like, let's explore it. I'm going. How about you go join me too? And then multiple things like that. Same thing. I had like a little, not even a formal vision board, but just like, oh, there's like a little card that came to a previous tenant where I lived about a place. I thought, oh, well, that'd be a really neat like bucket place. You know, your dream bucket list. Be a cool place to visit. It just sat there, and it literally had a headlining that said, your next vacation is closer than you think. Well, you know what? Your subconscious is picking those things up. Wouldn't you know? That's the place that he was wanting to go next, and we were hitting it off. And he's like, hey, I'm going to this place. How about we go for 2 weeks and some change this summer? So literally, and there was more. There's way more. There's like all these little things that started to show me. And that's also too what I want to share is like how to know when you've actually Nevilleized and it's coming. Like, it's not here yet, but I've discovered there's telltale signs, at least for what I think are. And I want to go over that. I think it's super important. And so a million little stories. I started writing it down. I started to get so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't normally have all these magical moments that like no one else can see it, but I see it. It's like it's changing my life. It's adding joy, it's adding prosperity. And it'd be things that doesn't even mean a whole lot to someone else. But to me, it's like I'm searching for something and I find this incredible resource. Or again, we'll get into some other details along the way, but I just realized that coming across this prayer, thank you for showing me that this issue is already solved. Thank you for showing me that all my issues are already solved. Thank you for showing me that this issue with XYZ, like my car, my boyfriend, whatever, work, is already solved. Try it tonight. See if you don't feel comfort, at least saying it. And again, Neville will just say, just try it out. Just see. You have nothing to lose, right? It's free. Just go to sleep, because it doesn't matter what you think about just before you go to sleep. And so I realized there's so much power into what we do when we go into sleep, the words we say, what we're thinking about, and that's a lot of what we're going to be going over this channel. So that was the prayer that changed my life. And I don't want to sound overly dramatic and say saved my life, but the trajectory is totally different. I've been to a most astounding, gorgeous place for the last, a couple weeks ago. I was in a place for 2 weeks that just took my breath away. I went to Greece. It's just, I always thought it'd be a neat place to visit. Just took a piece of my heart. Universe, God knew that. The man I met, when I've written it down, and I finally did write it down just around the time that I was starting to work with Neville processes, it's exactly who and what I was holding out for. I've been single for 7 years. So, and there's more. But those are just overviews. Like I said, I want to share along the journey, and I'm going to share things so you can learn as I go, because there's more to go. But I really wanted you to understand that while I'm sharing, so you can get the nuggets as I'm going. I've got them. I would like to learn more. I think I've got them down pretty well, but there's always more. So that's why I created this channel. It's that's how I was inspired. Who's this Neville guy? I don't know if I can read his books. I don't know if I can listen to his video. Well, there's videos, they're AI enhanced now. You can find them. It's still a little interesting to listen to, but once you really get into it, and we're going to be reading for the books, and then I'm going to break it down for you, like more current English, explain to you, your life won't be the same. Just won't. Yep. Like I said, I'm here to encourage and mentor and support you. I want to create a really positive community where we all do this together. So like I said, I'm doing this on purpose, mid-journey or wherever I am on it. But because I think that there's a lot of value to it. And I'm excited about our journey together. So I'm excited, guys. I love y'all. And I'm excited about what we're going to do together. And so this is part 2 of why I'm a Neville Girl. It explains a little bit more, and I can't wait to share more, and it's going to start to get more specific, but that gives you a little more insight to how this channel was created and why I want to share it with you, because if I can do this, anybody can, really. And it took effort, but it doesn't take as much as you think. It's just specific effort. And we're going to go over that. We are. Love you guys. Signing off until the next time. And it won't be too long. But, yeah. Neville Girl forever. Let's do it. Bye.